Pixies, it's me, Tony Bomboni ASMR. So before this begins, if you could take a quick second to subscribe and tap the bell, hit all notifications so you can get notified of new videos from me every single day, and check my website, tonybomboni.com, if you would like to book your own services from me. I offer tarot, Reiki, ASMR, coffee cup, candle wax readings, along with other things on there as well. Go check it out. So let's begin. I wanted to talk about something happy, something exciting today, something that will uplift your mood and get you in a good mood in general. Today I was feeling particularly happy ever since I woke up this morning. I just felt really good. And the first thing I do is go outside to take my dog to go to the bathroom, and when the sun basks, I feel really good. It makes me feel energized, happy, glowing. When it's cloudy, rainy, overcast weather, I feel sad, I feel depressed. So that's a big reason I moved down here. And so I can tell you right now in this I'm going to make it a story time video, but not really like a specific story, but more a story of like happiest moments in my life or happy memories I have come across or encountered. Things that made me feel good and happy. And a lot of times when we're feeling down, when we're feeling upset, we tend to not think of those things. We tend to find it hard to come up with something happy or something good in this life. So maybe this video will remind you of that, or we could just both take a quick sec to close our eyes and just imagine what makes us happy, what makes us feel truly happy, good. Even if you can't really connect with happiness, sometimes I can't even connect with happiness because it's like, what is happiness? Why are people striving so hard for happiness, right? Everyone says the same thing, like, do what makes you happy. Okay, I'm sorry, no offense, but what time is it? I mean, literally everyone says the same thing, so it's like, okay, how about you tell me what makes me feel happy, right? Like, sometimes it can be difficult to find what really makes you happy, like, what is happiness, right? Like, is it a fading memory? Like, is it something that only makes you feel good, but then you feel guilty later? But then why do you feel guilty for doing that, right? So there's so much contradiction to happiness that I think people overlook. Instead, the main focus now should be to focus on having happiness, but to focus on just living your best life, enjoying it the way you know how. And happiness is like a side effect of that. It's not something you seek. Like, you can't always be happy. It's just impossible. So, and don't force it either. So, again, hopefully this video will help you recognize that and connect with, like, okay, when you focus on these memories of what made you feel happy at that moment in time, and you start to talk about all of those memories, maybe you'll feel much happier. Like, I'll probably be much happier by the end of this video, right? Naturally, by talking about my happy memories. So we can take a quick second. Sorry about that ramble, but we can imagine what makes you happy. Or maybe you come up with a memory, a distant memory that may be fading in your mind, but it's there. You think you have forgotten, but it's there. The first memory I'm coming up with is when no one specific in my life, but when I am hugging a friend. So like when I go to see a friend I haven't seen in a long time, and we just hug, that's a good memory, right? Like, that's something that can trigger happiness when you hug anyone for the matter. Family, friend, relationship, lover, right? Like, anyone, even a stranger. I remember one time, actually, a specific memory in this story time I might as well share. There was some random girl in my school. I never even took classes with her. I didn't even know who she was. And she had a shirt, free hugs today, and I guess she would wear that like once a month or something. And I would look at her and she'd be like, oh, you want a hug? And I'm like, oh my god, yes. How did you know I needed a hug today? And we hugged, and just that moment I felt so much better. I felt like I could connect to humanity, even though I had no idea who she was, and we hugged, and it was kind of funny. It's like, oh wow, And I almost felt like I felt this is nice. Like, you can hug someone and feel much better. So that was a happy memory. So maybe that reminds you of a hug you've had or something. Let's connect now. I'm thinking immediately of going on vacation. Like, I don't like the work behind it. Like, well, I kind of do. Like, packing makes me happy. Like, knowing that I will end up going somewhere, going away on a trip by packing, like, physically. Like, my brain produces a response that tells me, okay, you are getting away from work for a while. You are getting away from your routine, your home, and you just are now initiating a change in your life. And that makes me feel good, knowing that I have the power and the control to do that. A lot of times we tend to want that power and control, right? That makes us happy too. Sometimes I can be like that, you know, I want to be in control. I want to have the power to choose and decide what I want to do. And it makes me feel secure in myself to do so. But that may not make someone happy, so it all depends. So the action of packing your things to go somewhere is like an action of control. Like, you have some power over your life that you can decide what to do. And then, you know, you book that plane ticket, you get that rental car, whatever the heck, you know, even a road trip. Oh my gosh, so many road trips I've taken with a car. Oh my god, so many thousands of miles driven. Wow, that makes me feel good knowing that I have a destination that's far, and then you stop at each and every town and city, and like you take a break, you go to the McDonald's, or you just go to the gas station, you go to the bathroom, you know, you stop for a restaurant somewhere, you look at the views, wherever you are driving. I feel like my throat's dry because I just sneezed. Hold on. I gotta get some water. Okay, I'm back. Much better. Let's see here. So, yeah, it makes me feel happy to go somewhere and do that. I haven't done that in quite some time. The last time I just completely let go of everything. No work, no responsibilities, no homework, was 5.5 years ago, where I just took a trip and I just didn't do anything. And part of me regrets that, because I really, I was away for quite a while, and I feel like to this day it sort of didn't do me good, but maybe the Lord knew what was best for me at the time, so maybe I just had to do that. Would I ever do that ever again? No. But I felt like I needed that. I don't know. In my soul, something needed that rest. So the fact that it's been that long of not like doing anything and just letting it go speaks volumes to maybe that I should do something like that again. Even though it didn't necessarily make me feel happy afterwards, in the moment it felt right. So it was like, okay, well, maybe life is full of those opportunities and chances you only get once, and that you should take them, and that can contribute to your happiness overall. So not to overthink it again, like, oh my god, like, let's be over analytical and overthink everything about, like, okay, we're only gonna do whatever contributes to happiness. No, because you have to have some sad days. Sometimes I like those down days. Like, I need that in my spirit. Like, I just need it. Like, I need to just sometimes be a jerk to myself too, you know? Like, I like that sometimes. That's part of my happiness, you know? Part of my happiness are those down days where I just, like, I don't talk to anyone. I'm to myself. I'm just sad, or I'm crying. Like, I need that sometimes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot stand when every single day is, like, perfect and happy. It's so boring to me. Like, my mind needs to be stimulated elsewhere. Now, is that necessarily healthy? I don't know. But all I know is life is not going to always be like that, because because, you know, you could have happy days and then someone across the street insults you or something and that ruins your day. So, or you have just a misunderstanding with someone. So, not every single day, even if you focus on happiness every day, is going to be like that. It's just not going to work, because then you have the expectation that you are going to be happy, and when that expectation is destroyed, oops, you see what I'm saying? So, to wake up each morning and expect it to be a good day, but understand that this is life, and that sometimes it can kick dirt in our face. So, anyway, moving on. Let's see what else. I don't know why I'm thinking of this randomly. When I get a good grade on a test, like at school, and I thought I did poorly, or like on an essay, and then I get that like heartwarming feeling when the teacher hands the paper and she's like, oh, you did very good, or I loved how you wrote that, or I don't know, I just get like, it melts from my brain down to my chest, like that tingly warm feeling of like, I have the knowledge. Like, I'm smarter than I think, and it's a little maybe, like you feel a little sense of pride, a good way of pride, like you're proud that you did that, or you could do that as well, and that can make you feel happy. Ooh, now I'm thinking of like certain music can make you feel that way too, you know, like music, I love music. I used to be a musician myself for a few years, and it just makes you feel good. It just makes you feel so in harmony with yourself. Oh, another thing, also music sounds a lot better with like wine, I swear. Like when you are on a little high on life kind of feeling and you listen to music, it's such a good moment, and you're like dancing and grooving and you're feeling good. You get a little chip sale. Especially when you're with a friend or something, it's just nice. Okay, that's another happy moment. Like sometimes you gotta have those moments where you let loose and you just like, you know, you feeling good. Okay, and another one I'm thinking is intimacy. When you have an intimacy with a significant other, that's a good moment, of course. And sometimes it gets emotional and you start to cry, and that's happened to me. Like, I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say I've cried in the bedroom. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's happened. Okay, like I get emotional about it sometimes, especially if you connect with a partner that their energy matches yours. It's like it feels so good that you just cry. I don't know how to explain it. It's a spiritual thing. I like connecting spiritually more than like the actual physical, you know, sensation. But anyway, so people are sometimes getting to be in that. Like I used to think when I was younger, like, oh my god, that's so funny, or that's weird. But I didn't know what it was, or I was immature, or whatever. I was too young to know. But like when you do it the first time, it's embarrassing. Like I've done it like I think 3 or 4 times, yeah, in my life so far. It's embarrassing, but it's like if you have someone that understands, or like doesn't be like you're weird, or are you okay, or like looking at you funny and judgmental, then you like start to cry even more, because they understand and that you're connecting with them more, and it's like you kind of know that you're connecting with them more. And I never had anyone do that to me and be like judgmental and stuff, or at least they didn't say it. But when that happens, it's like, oh, you know, you really connected with that person, and that makes you happy. It makes you feel good that you can do that with someone that kind of understands you, right? So that was a good memory, especially that one person. I can't say who, because they're kind of important. But well, I don't want them to lose their job. Do you know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. But like they understood why I was crying, and they were like holding me, and like, oh my god, like, you know, like they just knew, and I just couldn't stop crying. And that to this day I think about that. Like that triggered a happy memory in me, and it's like they knew my soul. It was weird. Like you can look in their eyes and you connect with someone, and anyway, it makes you feel good. So that's for sure. I don't know about happiness, but because afterward I felt like crap, because it was like clearing out old emotions ecstatic that it's like you cry and you're like so happy that someone can get you on that level and connect on that level. So that's like the happiest form. It's so happy that it's like ecstatic, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even happiness anymore. It's a whole nother level. I felt like maybe I must have went to another dimension and saw blip blue blop or something like that, because that was something else. But anyway, so moving on, let's see what else was a happy moment that I experienced. I guess when someone messages you, like even just a random stranger, like sometimes I get like random DMs on Instagram, or like I can't go through them all because some days it'd be too much, you know, but it's like sometimes I'll open a random one and there'll be like one that's like, you know, I don't know, they heard something from a video or something, or that, you know, you connect with them and they're like, I understand, I went through the same thing, you know, someone you could relate to, someone that kind of tells you how it is too, and it's like, oh, I feel happy, like that a complete stranger, like the hug lady at school, can connect with you, right? Like that's why I do these videos. Like I never had many friends growing up. Sometimes I felt lonely and like, let me turn on the camera, let me connect with the outside world, you know, and see who's out there, see who I can reach through this portal, right? The whole black hole of the lens. So it's beautiful how we can it's all energy. Like your energy, even like when you're angry, you're actually sending that anger up into like in the space in the satellite, and it comes back down to the phone, and you register that energy. Everything's a portal. These electronic devices are portals, they're gateways. You send that energy. I'm doing that now. Although I'm filming this in this moment in time, you're gonna see it as if it's now. Same with my Reiki healing sessions. I do the Reiki at the same time. There's a port, it goes through, the energy goes through space, and then they can watch it back in my recorded sessions. So it's like, it's the same principle, it's the same concept of happiness. So when you send that happy message to someone and you feel it, you just know it. Like, you ever know how like someone types like, oh hey, ... It sounds like they're not happy to hear from me. And then when someone types capital letters, hello there, beautiful, ! Smiley face, right? Then you're like, oh, I feel the energy. It's all energy. And even like, it's almost impossible to type that way, because if you're not feeling it, because it just doesn't come out right? Like, it just doesn't, it's always gonna show. So yeah, it's important what you send to people, and don't be fake about it, right? Like, if you are not in the mood and you send someone a message like that, it's just not gonna register. So do it only when you're truly feeling it, okay? So you can't send happiness if you yourself don't have that vial filled with happiness inside, okay? And how do you do that? Well, you know what's best for you, but I can't say ignoring everyone and isolating yourself, because that didn't work. Been there, done that, honey. That made you a person more miserable and depressed and upset about everything. So when you connect and bump knuckles with people and elbows, even if you don't really like the people, you know, even if you're not maybe vibing with them, they're not really your tribe, or you just kind of feeling sometimes weirded out by some people, you know. I'm thinking of like crowds in a school again. Like, there's 1,000+ people, but then you're not gonna click and vibe with everyone, right? Like, but the fact that you're there, like in the crowd, you feel the energy in someone, you feel someone's happiness there, you know. Another happy memory is a good cashier person. Like when they're checking out your items and they're really like happy in a good mood, and you feel it. I feel it always in my heart. It's like a warm, burning sensation, but a good kind of warm burning sensation, because it's like, wow, I'm connecting with a person I don't even know, but they're in such a good mood, and they're giving me their good energy. That's another happy moment right there I'm picking up on. Another happy moment is going to a museum. I love art museums, art exhibits. I like feeling bad and bougie. I don't know why. I like going to those places. It's so quiet. I love quiet. I love my peace. Like, sometimes people love to just be loud and obnoxious. music and yelling and shouting, and not me. I like peace and serenity, a good book, some tea. So a museum is where I think of like the quietest place, because you can't even be loud, you can't even talk in there sometimes. They're like shh, like a library. Well, library, I don't know if that makes me happy, because sometimes I get too overwhelmed by all the options, and I got popped in the face once in the library. I won't go into that. So that the library doesn't really give me good memories. Every time I think of library now, I just think of like a sassy librarian. I don't know why. But anyway, so what else? Suntanning. I love going to suntan. I used to love the beach, but that's another happy memory. It's just like because I used to tan all the time growing up as a kid. Like I'd always come back from trips like just super tan and dark, and I loved it. I loved looking at my skin and seeing it's like really tan. I love it. I don't know why. I want to be even more tan, actually. I'm working on it, but lately, like every time I try to get outside, like when I'm done with work, it already gets cloudy, so, but I've been working it slowly. I don't want to overdo it too, but I really don't wear anything. I just tan, like your natural sweat. That's why you have natural sweat and hormones and your own chemicals and oil systems on your skin. Did you know that? Yeah, you don't need anything. Did we use that hundreds of years ago? No. So we were fine. Like you have natural sweat, and that actually reflects the sun back and actually cools you down. So I never use anything now for years. Nothing happened. So I live in Florida too, so your skin gets used to it. But anyway, so that's how you absorb vitamin D better. But anyway, so moving on. That makes me feel good and happy, and taking care of my health, eating good foods and fruits and vegetables, talking with a good friend on the phone, and that good friend that you could just talk about anything with, like, honey, like, I will share with you my deepest, darkest secrets, that kind of thing. And sometimes you can go like on the phone for hours and hours. Like I used to do that all the time. Just, oh my god, that's a good happy memory as well. Sometimes doing hobbies and crafts, a random thing you decide to do during the day as well. Maybe this gives you some ideas, poopsies. Like drawing. I'm about to go do a drawing video. I don't usually draw, but then when I do drawing, it's like, oh, that was something nice and exciting during the day. So being spontaneous, okay, that's another thing. Like doing something that, like, I was almost gonna go to the beach today in the middle of a work week. I'm like, heck, let me go. There's the red tide has been kind of slowed down, so I'm like, okay, let me go. But then I'm like, oh snap, I gotta bring Paco, because I'm alone and I do not like leaving him in the house alone more than 2 hours, because I just don't like to do that. He's so small, and he would get bored, so I always take him with me everywhere I go. If I'm alone, that is, even if I'm not alone, I just take the little guy with me, because I want him to explore and see. Like spending time with my dog. That, of course, is happiness there. But yeah, spontaneity, is that a word? Like, oh, I'm gonna go visit someone today, just randomly, right? Like, I wish we could do that in the United States. I know in Europe they be doing that all the time, but here, like, everyone's like, oh, it needs to be a specific day and time, but we gotta make plans. And it's just like, by the time you make plans, you either forget or you just, like, you don't feel like going anymore. Do you ever have that? Like, you plan days or weeks in advance and you're like, I ain't feel like going anymore. It's always like that. That's why, like, it's such a huge difference from when you travel and explore and you see how different people live different lives, and educating myself and learning about new things. I love attending schooling for different things. I actually just bought a bunch of new books last night, so I'm like always looking to educate myself, inform myself, and they were books about astrology, financial, mentoring, and other books about self-care, and I bought like a variety that I'm really into. And so exercising is another thing. I love to look fit, I love to look good, and I'm only just trying to impress myself, no one else, right? Because that's all you got at the end of the day. Like, who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to look I used to be like that. But then it's like, nobody really cares, right? Like, when they don't care about you, why do they care about, how much money you have, how good you look, right? Like, no one really cares at the end of the day. No one's really thinking about you at the end of the day. I know that sounds horrible, but like, we do this for ourselves, right? So that one day when you get so far ahead, people are gonna be like, dang, I wish I was like that, or I wish I knew them more, or I wish I listened to their advice, right? So, but at the end of the day, that's what makes me feel good, is to succeed, to get ahead, to save that dough, to be better off than who I was yesterday. It's not about being better off than a person I used to be enemies with, right? Or frenemies. So, we've all had those. Also, happiness is, honestly, sometimes you gotta cut certain people out of your life who contribute to your downfall, right? Who's trying to hold you back from getting to the top of the ladder or the mountain and reaching for the sky. Because, we gotta release that lid sometimes and go for the clouds. And sometimes certain people don't want that for you, or they themselves are so held back that they are just trying to hold you back by manipulation, gaslighting with their words, their tactics, their own sadness and depression, unfortunately. So sometimes you gotta take a loss and go goodbye, and sometimes you need to just take a pause from them. That's part of my happiness. I've never had like a committed friend ever in my life, ever. I've never stuck with just one friend for too long. They always either come back or they vanish on their own. Sometimes the garbage takes itself out, if you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, it's always been kind of on and off for me, because I know deep inside that we come alone, we leave alone. I ain't taking them with me when I leave here. Are you kidding? Heck, we're not taking the money either, or our fitness, or our good looks. But while we're here, we have to strive as human beings to survive and to look as good as we can. Not to look as good as we can, to be as good as we can, but looking as good as you can is like a side effect of being as good as you can. Because when you eat healthy, you exercise, you naturally start to look better and better. And so I love to do that, because you start to vibrate on a different frequency. You start to attract better for yourself and for your life, and your circumstances starts to change, and everything starts to shift, and you start to just naturally, it just gets easier and easier somehow. But don't get caught up in the physical things of the earth either, because that can get you down as well. It's not just about that, it's about your experience as a soul here on this planet at the end of the day. So always remember that, no matter what you have or don't have, no matter the friends you have or don't have, okay? Or it's all about your own validation. So how can you validate yourself? Like talking to yourself in the mirror, right? Like, that's good. Like, I honestly even did that a little this morning. Sometimes I can forget to do that, but I was like, today you're gonna choose to have a good day. Like, today's just gonna be a blast. You're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a great overall day, right? So you just need that pick me up, and to tell yourself that, because sometimes you have people all around you telling you negative stuff, or criticizing you, or thinking that you should change in some way. And then when you do that, you know what the answer is all along, because it comes from inside you, it comes within. And that's part of your overall happiness. So that's another thing that really overall makes me happy and feel good. So I know that was a lot, you guys. Maybe I can come up with something else that makes me feel happy over my life. Eating that good chocolate cake, like I love sweets. When I'm handed like a good cake or a pie, bon appetit, because you know what? Sometimes it's okay to dip in your past a bit and reminisce on the memories. I know that makes me feel good. Oh, getting new clothes. I love that. Shopping for new clothes and wearing them, trying them out, checking them out, like you're in the mall in the mirror, those like, those bathroom, whatever, those changing room mirrors, and you're like, I want this or that, and it makes you feel confident and comfortable, and you feel like you're an avatar and you could just change your looks, and I just like that. Another thing that makes me feel happy. Christmas time. I love to give gifts. I love the look on people's face when they open the gift. I love to buy the gift. I love to decorate. I love to buy the tree. I'm excited. I can't wait to buy a new Christmas tree this year. Oh my god, and decorate it, like, and then the warm, cozy feeling, the hot chocolate in general, sweets in general. I mean, it gives me an excuse to chow down all that and be all cozy, and sometimes it's too cold to even go outside, so it gives me an excuse to stay home more. And oh yes, honestly, even if it's rainy and cloudy, sometimes that's good. Okay, remember that balance. I do like that as well. Let's see here. A good movie or show on Netflix that I look forward to, like right now I'm watching Open Your Eyes. I just finished Manifest. I just finished some other ones as well. I've just been binging. I'm about to watch Into the Night tomorrow. That comes out. That's like, sometimes you have those shows and those movies that were good and you look forward to. I'm mad that they canceled The Society. Ooh, I'm so mad about that, because that actually was a good one and I was looking forward to it, and the way it just ended abruptly and cut off, I'm like, no, there has to be a part 2, a continuum. I'm so mad about that. Like certain shows and movies, like I was like, oh heck, you better bring back this, you better bring that back, right? Yeah, anyway guys, so what else makes me happy? Going to a spa, getting a massage, pamper, facial treatment, lush and luxurious, going to a infrared sauna, a hot tub, taking a hot bath in general, even just at home. I love to swim. I've not done that in so long. Let's see here. Reaching your goals, like when you have accomplished a mission, that's really good always. That definitely makes me feel happy. So again, anything I say, you resonate as well. Maybe you write it down and you work on those things, right? You do those things, in fact, because when you're feeling down and about, it's okay. You can give your down day. Remember, just because you're feeling down doesn't mean you have to go, okay, let me do what was on my happy list. You don't have to do that, because it's almost not genuine. Because when you're so upset and then you go work on your goal, for example, or go do your makeup, it's like, if that makes you happy, of course, then it's like, well, I don't know, it may bring you temporary happiness, but is that maybe you acting as a cover and a band-aid so you can avoid feeling sad, so it's really like, some people continuously do that and then they cry when they are at their max peak. They can't handle it anymore and they just spill the bottle of tears, and it's healthier to just let it out when you feel those emotions, and to feel those feelings, and not to cover it up with something or take something to medicate it. Like, it's just not that good for you overall. I just know that for sure, and it blocks you from your overall happiness, your high vibration, which then will attract more blessings into your life, more abundance. So that's just the science of spirituality versus the body. It doesn't even go into science. It's more like just out there, maybe sometimes new agey stuff for some people, but there are some connections and deep understandings of mysticism going back hundreds if not thousands, back to the ancient times in Egypt. They've actually written about this stuff, and people have understood that this was like hidden, forgotten knowledge and wisdom. It goes into all that mixed with the esoteric stuff that sometimes I've discussed before, about healing the body and whatnot have you. So hey, spiritual stuff, crystals, Reiki, like all that makes me happy. That's why I do it. Tarot, I love it. Sometimes I'll get a call from a friend and they'll be like, can you do a tarot for me? And sometimes I'll just do it for them, just because, in the moment I'll just be like, here you go, free of charge, because it's like, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta as well. Sometimes someone wants to hear some quick ASMR, so I send them a quick audio message of like a whisper just to relax them if they're going through some things, some hardships, and a family member of theirs passed away and they need something good to hear. So what else do I enjoy? Makes me feel happy. I'm drawing a blank. So I think we're gonna stop this video because I think I said more than enough. Maybe you get some ideas of your own. Thank you so much for